Hey everybody, Brian, we're here in Kaufman. I'll show you around just slightly. All right, here we got this gentleman at the top. Like I mentioned earlier, he's got a mustache. Other than that, you can pretty much tell which factory the guy came off. United Confederate Veterans. Veterans obviously ceased to exist at a certain point because there were no more Confederate veterans. It's quite early on. All right, erected to the memory of the Confederate soldiers by the people of Kaufman County. All right, just to be clear, that's a statue at the top. You don't know what it's a statue of unless you already know what the Civil War is. UCV doesn't mean anything to practically anybody. That just says memory. There's no historical information there. And at the bottom, it says 1861 to 1865. That's not history unless you already know what those dates are there for. So far we've found no history on this monument. Let's see if there's any history over here. No soldiers ever fought more bravely on the field nor suffered greater privations for their country. All right, well, let's think about bravery for a second. Bravery is a virtue, right? And if you ask someone what bravery is, they're probably going to say facing danger, overcoming your fear. And that isn't right. Right. If you go to the top of a very tall building and go to the very edge and turn around and try to hold yourself on with just a couple of toes, that will be very dangerous, and you will probably be afraid of doing it, but it's also not brave because it's stupid. Bravery is overcoming the danger, the fears that you should overcome, and facing the dangers that you should face. Right? So if you are... That's the Battle Hymn of the Republic. That's our song. Excellent, I love it. Right? So, oh, maybe somebody's on our side. Someone is brave or not depending just on whether they face danger, but depending on which dangers they face and why. If you're willing to die for slavery, that's not virtuous. If you're willing to face your fear of death in battle for slavery, it's not virtuous. So it's not brave. Sorry. I mean, look, I understand that people are overcoming fear, but fear is not intrinsically bad, right? As a general rule, when you're afraid of something, it's because it's actually bad for you, right? We have this as an innate emotional response potential for a reason. So we should not think of fear as some kind of subhuman part of our nature that we always need to be squelching. We need to understand that we are living animals, we have these impulses, there's nothing intrinsically bad about them. Fear is something that can go haywire, right? You can be afraid of things you shouldn't be afraid of. You can have, like in the back of your head, your little reptile brain part, you can have a misestimation of whether a danger is worth facing or not. You can also get it right? And so if somebody is up there about to charge some Union troops for slavery, and they go, wait a minute, this seems really dangerous for defending slavery, and then they just kind of pissed off, that's not vicious, it's not cowardly. All right, so they're not brave, nor suffered greater privations. I will give them, they suffered tremendous privations, right? The life of the Confederate soldier was in general miserable. For their country. Which country was that? Their country was the United States of America, but they did not suffer privations for that country. They suffered privations for an imaginary country called the Confederacy, which was not a thing worth suffering privations for. There's no history there, there's just praise of people for evil, or at least for bad. Back over here, we've got, they went down in the battle at the command of their state and fought for their constitution, homes, and firesides. All right, well, they did go into battle at the command of their state, I'll give them that, but I'm not going to praise them for it. Acquiescing in a tyrannical government is not actually virtuous. This is the United States of America. I thought everybody had gotten that idea. All right, so their constitution? Which constitution? Constitution, state of Texas? Only the state of Texas, and I know that loyalties were a little bit different then, but you know, the Constitution of the United States has some fundamental freedoms built into it, and is a deeply moral document. All right, Constitution of the Confederacy? All right, that's not my Constitution. I don't like that Constitution. That Constitution is not worth laying down your life for, so I'm not really interested in them dying for their Constitution. If you're willing to die for my Constitution, I will praise and honor you for that, but not fighting for a different one that is antithetical to mine. All right, so what were they doing? They fought for their Constitution, homes and firesides. All right, now I keep going around reading a Confederate recruitment poster. It was pretty plain in this Confederate recruitment poster that the southern states were seceding to prevent abolition. They were starting to talk about how terrified they were of abolitionists at their homes and firesides long before the war started. They were not fighting against Union armies destroying their homes and firesides. They were fighting against abolitionists liberating slaves that would destroy their homes and firesides. Just a little while ago, I was reading that speech from Senator Calhoun all the way back in 1836, explaining that if we ended slavery in the South, we'd have to exterminate all the black people or they would kill all of us. They weren't defending their homes and firesides from the Union, they were defending their homes and firesides from free black men. They wanted to make certain that those black men were never free. All right, honor to their memory. Glory to their cause, peace to their ashes. Glory to their cause. And who glorifies that cause? That cause was slavery. There's no glory in that cause. All right, there's nothing around here that has any history on it. People will say that if you take down these monuments, you're taking down history. There's no history on this thing. There's just praise. It's a sheer confusion to suggest that this kind of a thing here, which praises people for an action and does not document any historical fact, is history.